What up, guys? What up, guys? What up? What up? It's your boy Fanilakhe Mamba. We in the building, man. We're in the building, man. You don't wanna mess with the Mamba, man. You don't wanna mess with the Mamba. So, guys, today I'm just gonna do a market breakdown of of gold. I'm gonna do a market breakdown of GJ, which is GBPJPY, and then I'm gonna do a breakdown of Nasdaq. So guys, make sure that you subscribe and you click the like button and also share with your friends there at home, because of this information I'm about to drop here, guys, is very important. So I'm just basically gonna be starting from my weekly time frame where I start when I'm doing my market breakdown. So guys, we are looking at gold currently. This is gold. So guys, I'm just gonna do a breakdown of gold. So you can see, guys, that on gold, looking at on our weekly time frame, you can see that we've been making these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We failed to break these previous highs, lower highs, and then we shot to the downside. So we might be coming for this for this double bottom probably before we continue shooting to the downside, to the upside, because of what we see, guys, here is that if you can just check the momentum of gold is to the upside, and then we see that we see this long continuation, and then we might be continuing to push all the way to the upside. So without further more waste of time, guys, let me just draw my trend lines. So we have what you call this upper trend line here. We have an upper trend line here, guys, and then we have also as well this lower trend line here. I'm just trying to be as accurate as possible, guys. Remember, when drawing trend lines, you need to be as accurate as possible. You don't want to be drawing a trend line to a point where you think it's a breakout, only to find that it's not a breakout, but you drawing your trend line. So guys, you can see that now the whole move is that we have the first leg, and then we have this long big correction, and then we need to see some sort of a second leg of this move. But now what is that we're looking for? We need to see price completing this move that it has started. So we see that we have a push to the downside. You can see that we have a push, and then we form some small correction, and then we can continue pushing to the downside, probably to this double bottom, or we can also come for this touch here before shooting all the way to the upside. So now let us dive in a bit more deeper to daily time frame. So on a daily time frame, guys, you can see now it becomes even more clear. So let me just draw this continuation pattern here. So guys, you can see that now we have some sort of a double top formation here. Not so clear, or you can say we have a high and a low and a low high. You can put it any way you want. But then after that, what is that we see? We see price pushing all the way to the downside, forming this one continuation pattern before it can continue shooting all the way to the downside. So now you can see, guys, that this is me playing with with probabilities. So you can see that now, let me just complete. So you can see, guys, that now we have this continuation pattern here on our daily time frame. Let us now drive in a bit more deeper to H4 time frame. So guys, on H4 time frame, let me just try and adjust my trend lines. Let me just try and adjust my trend lines here. So that you can be as accurate as possible. So guys, you can see what's happening here, guys. You can see what's happening here. You can see that we have first touch, we have second touch, and then we are at the third touch. We couldn't break above here. We rejected this area here. So we might see price pushing all the way to the downside. And remember, we look at the nature as to how the market is approaching the key area. You can see that the market is approaching the east key area of our third touch as a corrective structure to the upside. So we might see price pushing all the way to the downside. But without further more waste of time, let me just drop down to my daily time frame. So guys, what I'm basically doing here, I'm doing what is called top-down analysis. I'm breaking it down as to what is that I'm looking for the next coming week on gold. So you can see, guys, that now we have these touches as well as this pattern inside pattern, because of, remember, this is the overall pattern here. We have this overall pattern here. But what is that we see price creating this pattern inside pattern. So now you can see that, guys, now we have a nice ascending type pattern structure here. Let me just adjust it a bit back so that it can be fine. So you can see, guys, that on this structure here, you can see that, guys, we have first touch, we have second touch here, and then we are having a third touch here. And then after a third touch, you can see that we also have some sort of a double top formation. That's a young double top formation that has been formed here. So what is that we're expecting? We're expecting price to push to the downside, form some sort of continuation pattern or commitment before continuing to shoot all the way to the downside. So how are we going to be looking to capitalize on this trade? That's a nice question. So once price has pushed to the downside, Once price push to the downside, form some sort of a continuation pattern here, then that's when we're going to be looking to enter. So now we have two type of entries that we can take here. I really don't like to take it here at the top of the double top formation. I want to see this push, this first push to the downside. Then I'm going to be taking a high risk entry here, putting my stop loss just above here to give it a little bit more room to breathe. And then this guy is going to be where I'm looking to have my my first target here is about like 3.8%. That is a lot, guys. But overall structure, you know, guys, that we're still looking for gold to continue shooting to the downside to make what? To make the double bottom formation. And another entry that I'm looking at here is what we call a reduced risk entry. So a reduced risk entry, we enter at the break of this area here, and then targeting all the way to the downside. This is probably going to give us about 2.6%, which is something so nice. But overall, guys, you know that we're looking for price to continue pushing all the way to the downside. So that's the overall bias for me on gold. That is basically what I'm looking for on gold, guys. It's going to be a very nice week, to be honest, guys. It's going to be a very nice week. Looking at GBPJPY, let's just go to daily time frame. Looking at GBPJPY, starting from weekly time frame. So looking at GBPJPY, guys, you can literally see that we have what? We have some sort of a double top formation here. We have some sort of a double top formation that has been formed. But one thing that we can notice, guys, that we didn't really come to tap into this double top formation. So we might still see price coming and tapping into into this double top formation. So you can see, guys, that we might expect price to come tap here before going down, or we might see price breaking above and coming for a retest. That's the scenario I am not looking out for. I'm not really looking for out for that scenario. So driving down to my daily time frame, I can draw my trend line from here to here. But one thing that you can see, guys, that this trend line doesn't touch here. It's so far from price. So what I normally do, I evolve with the current price. Because of, remember, guys, I want to focus on the most recent price action and see what price is doing currently. As much as I do use old data of price, but the most important data is the recent one as to what is price doing now. Okay, we see that price did this long time ago, probably 3 years ago, but what is it doing now? This is what this is the most important thing, that okay, now what price is doing. When it does that, okay, how am I supposed to react to that? So you can see, guys, that we have this some sort of first touch, second touch, third touch. So we might be coming for this double top formation here, because of we have this young double top formation here, or some sort of this one as well. This one is the major one at the top, but this one is also a minor double top formation that we might be coming for. So looking at our daily time frame, on our H4 time frame, I mean to say, looking on our H4 time frame, guys, you can see that now what is that we have? We have price pushing to the upside impulsively and forming this some sort of descending type pattern, breaking above and forming this young continuation pattern, which increases our chances of looking for these buying opportunities before we can see price shooting all the way to the downside. Because of, remember, guys, I told you that on bigger time frame we're looking for price to shoot to the downside, but for now, what is that price is doing now? We cannot just be like, okay, we're just gonna go and sell. We still need to see what is price doing on smaller time frame. So we might see price pushing all the way to the upside. So what I'm basically gonna do now, I'm just gonna try and construct my trend line. So nice. Just gonna try and construct my trend line so nice, so that yeah, it can be visible even when we drive a bit more down to our smaller time frame. So now, guys, let's just go to our H1 time frame. So on H1 time frame, this is where I'm just gonna adjust a bit to have these touches, because you can see that this trend line, they're just moving in the wind, in the air. Okay, guys, so you can see that now on our H1 time frame, I mean to say, you can see that, guys, we have we have this continuation pattern here, probably coming to test these areas as well, but it didn't really get there. So you can see that, guys, we have this continuation pattern here. And then you can see, guys, that what is that we might be looking for here? We might be looking for price to come probably on Monday. We might be looking for price to come and tap in for this double bottom before shooting to the upside. Or we might see price coming forward for this triple triple touch, third touch, then push to the upside before we can see. Or otherwise, guys, we might see price respecting this area, creating an inverted and short pattern. And then once we see a break in a retest, then that's when we're going to be looking to capitalize on this trade of GBPJPY. Super nice week that is coming, guys. Super nice week that is coming. Looking at NASDAQ, let me just remove everything. Looking at Nasdaq, guys, I'm just gonna start on my daily time frame. Super nice and simple, to be honest. Super nice. On Nasdaq, guys, I'm looking for this. You can see that, guys, we have what? We have the first touch here, we have the first touch, we have second touch, and then we have our third touch here. You can see it pretty nice and simple. And then you can see, guys, that this is our upper trend line, which is also a diagonal resistance, you can say, if you want. We have also our upper trend line. So you can see that the goal of price is to reach to this the touch of what? Of this trend line. I'm really not convinced that Nasdaq can shoot to the downside because of what? Because of these companies that are stacked on Nasdaq. They are each and every day they are going to the upside because of, you know, the growth and the economy is going up. Unless if maybe we face some sort of pandemic, maybe fourth or third wave, whatever that is coming, then it can drive Nasdaq to the downside like that. But other than that, I don't see Nasdaq pushing that much to the downside because of, remember, we're on a daily time frame. Unless if we face some major fundamentals that's gonna drive price to the downside. So now, guys, looking at this structure, guys, you can literally see that we have what? We have these touches here. We have these touches, guys, here. First touch, second touch. We didn't really come here for this third touch. So what I basically do, I'll just adjust my trend line. I'll just adjust my trend line to the recent price action. You can see that we have these touches here, touching my trend line. And then we also have these touches here, guys, touching. So you can see that now, guys, we have what? We have some sort of, let me just adjust a bit. We have some sort of what? Ascending type pattern here. If you can just check, guys, we have some sort of rising wedge, if you like, if you call it. We have some sort of a rising wedge. And then, guys, you can see that we are at the third touch because of our first touch, second touch, and then we are facing this third touch. But I'm really not convinced that Nasdaq is going to shoot to the downside. So what I basically be looking for, guys, what I'll basically be looking for, guys, because even here, guys, on my even here on here, you can see that we have this continuation pattern. So we might see price coming and forming this some sort of continuation pattern, and then we see price doing what, and see price roll over to the upside. So basically, guys, this is the scenario that I'm gonna be looking for on what. This is the scenario I'm gonna be looking for, guys, on Nasdaq, because of I really don't believe in it going to the downside that much. So thank you so much, guys, for staying and tuning into this video. It's your boy, Fanilakhe Mamba. We're out of the building. Let there be peace in the Middle East. Let our brothers and sisters be safe. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe and share the video with your friends. This will really means a lot to me. It's your boy, Fanilakhe Mamba. I'm out of the building.